There is a lie you have been told about how desires come to pass, and it has caused more suffering, more frustration, and more abandonment of perfectly valid assumptions than perhaps any other falsehood in the history of human thought. The lie is this, that you must figure out how. That once you set an intention, once you feel the wish fulfilled, once you do the work of impressing the subconscious mind, you must then map out the steps, plan the route, engineer the sequence of events that will carry you from where you are to where you want to be. I tell you from my own experience, the how is none of your business. And the reason it is none of your business is that there exists a mechanism so elegant, so precise, and so utterly beyond the capacity of the conscious mind to design that any attempt to plan it would only delay it. I called this mechanism the bridge of incidents, and once you understand how it works, you will never again waste a single hour trying to figure out the path to your desire. My name is Neville. For more than 40 years, I taught the law of assumption to anyone willing to listen. And of all the principles I discovered and tested and proved, the bridge of incidents is perhaps the one that inspires the most wonder because it reveals the intelligence behind consciousness itself. Here is the principle in its simplest form. The moment you accept a new assumption as fact, the moment you feel the wish fulfilled in the state akin to sleep, the subconscious mind immediately begins constructing a series of events, a bridge, that will carry you from your current position to the physical experience of that assumption. You do not build the bridge, you do not design it, you do not even see it being built. You simply walk across it, one incident at a time, and arrive at the destination that was determined the moment the assumption was impressed. In this teaching, I will show you exactly how the bridge of incidents works, why your conscious interference is the single greatest threat to its operation, and how to walk across it with the calm persistence that the law demands. Let me establish the foundation. Your subconscious mind is not a filing cabinet. It is not a passive storage system that holds your memories and waits for instructions. Your subconscious mind is an architect. It builds worlds. When you impress an assumption upon it with feeling, particularly in the state akin to sleep, it receives that impression as a blueprint, a completed building, not a plan for a building, a finished fact. And then, because the subconscious operates in dimensions your conscious mind cannot access, it begins working backward from that finished fact. It assembles the chain of events, the bridge, that connects your present position to the assumed future. You are imagination, and imagination creates reality, but imagination does not create reality in a straight line. It creates through incidents, through meetings that seem accidental, through conversations you did not plan, through delays that feel like setbacks but are actually course corrections, through synchronicities that the rational mind dismisses as coincidence. None of it is coincidence. All of it is the bridge. The state you occupy determines the world you see. And when you occupy the state of the wish fulfilled, the world you see begins to reorganize, not all at once, but through a sequence of events that you could never have predicted and certainly could never have orchestrated. This is the part where most people fail, not because the law fails, because they try to take control of something that was never theirs to control. So we have established that the subconscious mind builds the bridge the moment an assumption is impressed upon it. We have established that this bridge operates through ordinary events, meetings, conversations, delays, synchronicities that you cannot predict or plan. But there is a deeper truth here, one that changes everything about how you approach the period between assumption and crystallization. And most teachers either do not know it or do not have the courage to say it. In a moment, I am going to tell you what happens when you try to build the bridge yourself, and it will explain every single time you felt your desire was close and then watched it slip away. The conscious mind has one fatal flaw. It can only see from where it currently stands. When you set an intention and then try to figure out the how, you are looking at the landscape from your present position and trying to chart a course through territory you have never walked. You do not know what lies beyond the next hill. You do not know which doors will open and which will close. You do not know which apparent disaster is actually the fastest route to your destination, but the subconscious knows. Because the subconscious is not standing where you are standing, the subconscious is standing at the end, at the completed assumption and building the bridge backward toward you. This is why the how is none of your business. Let me give you an example that I witnessed personally. A man in one of my classes desired a particular position at a company. He was not qualified on paper. He did not know anyone at the company. By every rational assessment, the position was beyond his reach. He did the work. He entered the state akin to sleep. He constructed a scene, his wife embracing him, saying how proud she was of his new role. He felt it. He fell asleep in the feeling of it being done. Within days, a series of incidents began. He met a woman at a dinner party who happened to know the hiring manager. That woman mentioned his name in passing. The hiring manager, who was not actively hiring, became curious. A meeting was arranged, not an interview, just a conversation. That conversation led to another. A position that did not exist was created specifically for him. He did not plan any of this. He did not know the woman at the dinner party. He did not know the hiring manager would be open to creating a new role. None of it was within the range of what his conscious mind could have designed. That is the bridge of incidents. It is not magic. It is not luck. It is the subconscious mind fulfilling the blueprint it received in the state akin to sleep. Dare to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And this is the discipline, let the bridge build itself. Now, what does it look like when you interfere? It looks like anxiety. It looks like checking for signs. It looks like asking every morning whether anything has changed yet. It looks like adjusting your behavior to try to force the outcome. It looks like telling the subconscious, I do not trust you. Let me do it. The moment you reach for the wheel, you are telling the subconscious that the assumption is not yet real. You are re-impressing the old assumption, the assumption of lack, of uncertainty, of not yet. And the subconscious, faithful and literal, receives that impression and builds accordingly. This is why so many people feel their desire is close and then watch it evaporate. They had the assumption, the bridge was forming, the incidents were unfolding, and then they grabbed the steering wheel and veered off course. Persist in your assumption, and the world must rearrange itself to conform. But persistence does not mean pushing. It means trusting. It means occupying the state of the wish fulfilled with calm certainty, even when the bridge presents you with an incident that looks like a detour. Because the detour is often the fastest route, the subconscious knows things your conscious mind does not. Man's imagination is the only redemptive power in the world, and the bridge that imagination builds is more intelligent, more efficient, and more creative than anything the planning mind could construct. What does it mean practically to walk across the bridge without interfering? It means you go about your day, you do your work, you meet your obligations, you respond to what is in front of you. And you do all of this from the state of the wish fulfilled, not from the state of waiting, not from the state of hoping, from the state of knowing it is done. When an incident arises that feels related to your desire, a phone call, an invitation, a delay, a door that opens or closes, you respond to it naturally. You do not analyze it for signs. You do not ask whether this is part of the bridge. You simply walk. The bridge does not require your supervision. It requires your assumption. And when doubt comes, and it will come, you do not fight it. You redirect. You return to the feeling. You return to the scene. You remind yourself in the quiet of your own mind, it is done. The subconscious has received the blueprint. The bridge is being built. My only job is to stay in the state. The most important conversation you will ever have is the one you hold with yourself. And during the bridge, that conversation must be one of calm certainty, not affirmations shouted from a place of desperation. Quiet knowing. The way you know the sun will rise. What you desire, you already are in eternity. The bridge is not building your desire. Your desire already exists as a completed fact in the fourth dimension. The bridge is simply the series of events by which that fact translates into your three-dimensional experience. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of something you have assumed, something you have felt in the state akin to sleep, something you have impressed upon your subconscious mind. Now, instead of reaching for it, release it. Feel the deep peace of knowing it is already done, not becoming, not approaching. Done. Feel the bridge beneath your feet. You do not need to see where it leads. You do not need to understand each plank. You only need to walk. Each step is an incident. Each incident is part of a design that is far more intelligent than anything your conscious mind could create. Isn't it wonderful? Rest in that. The bridge is already built. You are already walking across it. And every incident in your life, even the ones that confuse you, even the ones that frighten you, is carrying you toward the assumption you impressed upon your subconscious mind. You may open your eyes now. Remember the man I told you about, the one who wanted the position he was not qualified for. He told me something after he received the role that I have never forgotten. He said, "Neville, the strangest part was that none of it felt strange. Each step felt natural. Each meeting felt ordinary. It was only when I looked back at the whole chain that I saw how impossible it should have been." That is the bridge of incidents. It feels natural because it is natural. It is how consciousness has always operated. You have been walking across bridges your entire life. You simply were not aware that you were the one who built them through the assumptions you held in the state akin to sleep. The only difference now is that you know that the assumption comes first, the bridge comes second. And the how is never, ever your responsibility. Sleep as though the wish were fulfilled. Wake as though it is already so. And walk through your day knowing that every incident, every single one, is part of the bridge that your subconscious is building on your behalf. The crystallization of assumption does not require your planning. It requires your trust. If this teaching has settled something in you, if you feel the relief of releasing the how, then carry this with you tonight. Assume, feel, sleep, and then walk across whatever bridge appears without questioning its architecture. If these teachings speak to something within you, you will find more of them here. Return when you are ready. I will be here, and we will go deeper still. Consciousness is the only reality, and the bridge it builds is always, always enough.